Here is my 15 horsepower Briggs and Stratton mower engine. I got this mower and engine off of a friend of mine who used it for about 10 years without a problem, and he bought a new zero turn and gave me his old mower. I brought it home, used it to cut my grass, and the connecting rod for the piston shattered and put a hole in the side of the case here, which I've patched with JB Weld, and left shards of aluminum all throughout the oil sump here, which I've cleaned up and got it all the aluminum out of there. The crankshaft here was a little welded up with aluminum from the rod. I cleaned that all up, sanded that nice and smooth and flush. The piston looks like it took a hit from something. You can see this ear is still intact. This one over here is busted off. I don't think it's going to make that big of a deal, but we'll see. Cleaned the piston off with the wire brush and soaked the rings in a cleaner and got them cleaned up so there's not so much carbon buildup on them. I cleaned the head, combustion chamber, and reseated the two valves. You can see they're nice and clean, no carbon buildup there in the seats. And the two valves here, the intake is the larger one, the exhaust smaller one, and you can see them nice and clean on the seats, nice and metal showing, no carbon buildup. They'll make a nice seal when I put them back together. These are the push rods here. This one's aluminum, it's for the intake. This one is steel, it's for the exhaust. You can tell that by the weight. The aluminum push rod is a lot lighter, obviously, and the steel one's a little heavier, and I guess if you had a magnet you could tell the steel one will be attracted to the magnet. This here is a oil slinger. It lays in the oil pan like so, and the gear that runs the cams sits on top and engages the teeth. It spins and flings oil up into the crankcase on the crankshaft connecting rod, and it also has this little plunger here that moves in and out depending on engine speed, and that ties into the governor here. The crankshaft has a gear on it that runs the camshaft, and it has a really small dot on that tooth, and you use that to set the timing for the cam. It goes in like so. There's a little dot here on the cam that's supposed to line up with the tooth of that gear, and that sets the timing for the valves. And the ignition timing is set with a key here on the end of the crank where the flywheel slips on. It sets that, and that sets the ignition timing for the spark by means of this magneto. It has two sets of coils, a primary and a secondary, and a little contactor that trips and sends the spark to the spark plug. The flywheel has a little magnet that spins, and it energizes this at the appropriate time. I have the parts on order: the new connecting rod, a new gasket kit for the engine, and I hope to put this puppy back together in the next couple weeks and get it back on my mower.